Eva Encinias is with us today. She's the founder and executive director of the National Institute of Flamenco and the Conservatory of Flamenco Arts. Also joining us is Marisol Encinias, who is in charge of artistic programming there. They're with us to talk about the Festival Flamenco Internacional de Albuquerque. Big event. Thanks for stopping by New Mexico PBS. Good to see you, Eva. 31 years.
Yes.
It's an amazing thing. Marisol, welcome as well. It's an amazing thing to me.
Thank you for having
this
us.
event, absolutely. We're very pleased to have you. So many years, so many different events that you've done here. Tell us about year number 31. What can we expect for this year's event?
Well, the festival has grown into a huge event. We now will be bringing in 7 companies from Spain. I believe 45 to 46 artists from Spain.
Wow.
And they present performances each night. Each night is a different performance of a different company. And then they do their workshops. They're teaching various leveled workshops all day long. And then we even have late night performances after the main stage performances at our Tablao, which is at Hotel Albuquerque, which is a very different way of presenting flamenco in a very intimate setting. So some of the shows are highly produced in the theater, and then we go late night to the Tablao, and you see some of these artists performing in a venue that is where they can have a nice glass of wine and have some tapas and enjoy flamenco.
It sounds amazing, actually.
It's fantastic.
Marisol, Eva mentioned that there would be workshops and such, and I have to imagine, if you're a devotee of flamenco, you want to learn flamenco, what an amazing opportunity to take a workshop with the world-renowned folks from Spain and all over the world. It's amazing when you think about it.
We have 38 workshops this year, primarily in dance, but also a number of music workshops in percussion, in hand clapping specifically for flamenco, 2 levels of cante, of singing, 2 levels of hand clapping, and many cajon, the percussion box classes. And then we have costuming, we have an appreciation course, we have introductory level courses for people that are kind of wanting a survey, kind of dabble or get to know the art form class.
Now, that's kind of interesting.
We have professional level classes. The majority of our students in the festival come from around the country and around the world. It's really because of the way that we organize our program, our workshops, you can study basically with master artists. The people that come to the festival are really kind of some of the most important artists that are working right now in the field. And so you could take 8 hours of classes a day with masters all day long. So you go from one class to another, and we have a number of people that do that. They come and they study from 8 in the morning until 6:15 at night in class all day.
Really?
Yeah, but I do want to encourage people from Albuquerque or from our community around here from New Mexico who aren't professionals or who are not necessarily such aficionados of the art form to come and experience a cante class, a singing class, an appreciation class, palmas.
And by the time you finish all of those, you'll have a full round sort of understanding, and that's interesting. Let's back up a little bit here and talk about the magic of flamenco, Eva. That it's such an interesting art form, you know what I mean? But it's also sort of fraught with its own cliches and what people think it is. You know what a flamenco dancer is supposed to look like. You know, the whole thing. Let's talk about flamenco. What is it about flamenco for you that lights you up so much?
Well, you know, I started as a very young girl studying with my mother, and I see it now because outside of my university professorship, I also teach a lot of children. There's something about flamenco that really speaks to young people, and I think it's just that dynamic, that power, the energy, the intention with which it's done, and that's through the dance, the guitar, the singing, every capacity, on every level. Everybody is 100% in it. And I think that there's just a natural draw, even if you know nothing about flamenco, you know that you're seeing a magical there's something very, very intuitive, very spontaneous and very powerful that you're witnessing. And then the more that you start to learn about flamenco, whether it be through the lens of taking a palmas class or a cante class, you don't have to be a singer. You come in, you learn the letras. You don't even have to speak Spanish, but you start to look at the art form through these various lenses that allow you to experience some of that magic. And it's captivating. I believe, we have classes at our conservatory that are introductory level classes, and I know that people, when they're just introduced, that it's very exciting for them right from the introduction of the art form.
Right. We talked in the green room just before we sat down to tape this about the old Cafe Broadway.
That's right.
The old wonderful place that you guys
was
used
a
to
great
form of
place.
years ago. And I remember
Yes.
going there 25 years ago.
Wow.
And with my ex-wife, and we sat in that room, and in that corner, it was just so thunderous and so amazing. You just could not stop watching,
Right.
either male or female. Do you know what I mean? It was just
Yes,
an
that's
amazing
right.
situation. And the floor, something about that floor of the old Cafe Broadway just thundered the whole place. Flamenco was so amazing that way. And so, what do you hope folks come away with when they, and this is for both of you, when they come away from this festival? How do you want folks to come out of this festival? What do you want them to know and feel and understand?
That flamenco is many things. There's the traditional, and one of the things that we've tried to answer in our programming is we want to show the very traditional flamenco as people may image it, with we have the Familia de los Reyes that are coming, that are going to present it in that way, in sort of the very traditional way of looking at flamenco. But there's a lot of exploration in the art form, and people investigating possibilities of working through thematic trends and doing much more highly produced theatrical presentations of the art form. So it's also very, very modern and very avant-garde. So we're trying to share with our community that flamenco is vast in its artistic expression. And each performance that people see can be really mind-blowing because of the extreme contrast from one to the other.
That's right.
We have a New Mexico Pass that is really wonderful for our community to be able to get tickets to see all the performances at a very reduced rate, because we want people not just to see one performance, although that will be an incredible experience, but to have the opportunity to see, compare and contrast all of these world-class artists and how they bring this very dynamic art form to the stage in a completely different way.
Wow.
One
It
from
sounds
the
like
other.
so immersive. Like by the time it's finished, you'll be so full of everything, And
Absolutely.
it's amazing. Marisol, there's an interesting quirk here when you think about it. We have New Mexicans teaching the art form. And that's an interesting thing to me, because for a lot of folks, they may not associate us with having expertise and knowledge and history with flamenco, but we do. And it's interesting that way.
Well, just to go back for a second to say, what we were talking about, what do we want people to come away with about the festival? I think it's really, I would like New Mexicans and people from Albuquerque, New Mexico in general, just to feel proud of the fact that we have such an important festival in the world.
It's a global festival.
Because
That's
it's
right.
huge. It's it's the biggest festival outside of Spain. It's the oldest festival outside of Spain. It's actually, and if you go to Albuquerque, I encourage anybody who goes to, if you go to Spain, any place in Spain, and you talk to a flamenco and you mention Albuquerque, everybody knows Albuquerque.
Really?
Yeah. So it's really an important place on the map for
cool.
flamenco.
That's very cool.
And we have an opportunity to be very important in the industry of flamenco here in Albuquerque. So it's not only important for us as New Mexicans, but it's important worldwide.
Right.
This morning I was receiving phone calls at 3 a.m. because our festival is on the social. It's coming out a lot in social media threads and different
In Spain.
in
Oh,
different
wow.
places in the press. So they call it, one writer called it the miracle in Albuquerque, just because it's a festival that we've been doing for 31 years, thousands and thousands of miles away from Spain. So all of that to be said, all that said, I would hope that people will understand how important our festival is and to be able to take pride in that. The other thing I would say is, my mother, 31 years ago in starting the festival, she had a vision in saying, well, if we're going to have, we need for our community to bring the best of the best here.
Gotcha.
And it created a seed. And from there, well, my grandmother was also a singer and dancer. I studied with my grandmother and with my mother, and I've done it. But there are people now that make flamenco their life.
Right.
And so you become a flamenco as you learn about, with knowledge, with experience, and building skill, awareness. It becomes part of a culture, becomes your culture. Besides the fact we now have a component of our New Mexico culture, there's also flamenco that is infused in that.
That's amazing.
And so there are people that dedicate their lives. This is what we do every day, day in, day out, as our career.
Yeah.
And so it's a blessing. We're able to teach a lot of people, and we are able to see what the power that art has in people's lives. And
I love it.
I think that
I love
art in people's lives, it enriches lives, and it helps us to be, I believe, better people.
What are the dates for the festival again?
June 9th through the 16th.
How does one get tickets?
You can go to ffiabq.org, and there are links to all of the places to purchase tickets to all of our events, and also to be able to purchase ticket packages and workshops.
Ava Medicel, thank you very much for coming
Thank
in.
you so much.
Big event, big global event here in Albuquerque.
Thank
Very
you.
excited.
Thank you.
Good deal.